Cool. All right, so welcome to session 9 of Blades in the Dark Cult of Tides. So yeah, 9 of 10. We're getting close in there. I just want to note that Dr. Oculari has a nice new shave, looking very dapper actually today. I like the shirt too. Good job. Looking good, Doctor. Looking good.
I
You guys
should
are all
have
spectacular also.
modeled a mask.
That's a little overkill there for the inside, but I understand. Let's see. Cool. All right. So let's kind of jump into it. Well, let's introduce players first, as always. Um, Over here we have Steve.
Hello.
And Cassie.
Hello.
He's there. And the ever dapper Dr. Arculari. And we have Neocree over here, last but not least. Cool. So, yeah, 9 episodes in. You guys are kicking ass. You guys are, you guys know the system. I'm impressed. All is right in the world. So let's see here. What did we miss from last time? Did we get everything done? Except for Neocree's second action, I believe. Second downtime.
Let's see. Prowess. I will train prowess. I'll train playbook.
What are you training?
Playbook.
Oh, playbook. Okay, cool. Excellent. So, yeah. Is there anything we want to do free play wise before I kind of get things going?
Well, I'd like to pull the trigger on
I was gonna say I thought it was supposed to drown someone.
looking up their father.
Yep. Yeah, you know where he is. I forget. He works in or lives or works in Night Market, if I recall what we had said. So you tracked him down. You know who your father is, Luke.
Do I know what he does? I know he works there, but do I know what he actually does?
Let's see here. I'll say working in Night Market. He's some kind of dock worker, brings in things from ships.
Okay.
Dock worker is, I would assume, generally also kind of considered like something shady because, what else do they bring off of ships? All the illegal stuff that never gets through, like Duskvol customs, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
But there's that. So yeah, he's a dock worker type of guy.
Okay. All right. So where do we go for this?
All right.
Other than Night Market.
Cool. So let's hold that for 1 second. So before I forget, as I usually do, let's do the intro video, and then we'll go straight to Night Market. Cool. We're back. So yes, let's head to Night Market. If you look at the map. Ooh, jeez. One moment while I rearrange this bad boy. All right. Cool. All right, set to rearrange that camera. Yeah. So Night Market up here and the over here area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like, pretty much there's like little ramshackle houses around there where dock workers and others nearby can live. Live like right near where they're working at the docks at the rail station. Even again, this is pretty much the center for commerce. You have the rail coming in with supplies and people. You have the docks transporting mostly supplies, sometimes people, very more rarely people. That's more for commerce type of stuff. But yeah, it's like little ramshackle like apartments piled one on top of another over canals and that kind of goodness. But yeah, you can, if you amble over there, it's easy enough to find once you understand how the streets work up there. It's like, again, kind of things are piled on top of one another. So this is, you know, this is Picardy A, Picardy the second, that kind of thing, and then the addresses of the actual apartments and stuff. And you come to a door. Looks just like any of the others. There it's like seems constantly wet. Like the boards as you walk on like the second level. Wood is starting to get dilapidated there, or has gone dilapidated, and you see the number 425 on the door, the number that you got from the records department, what you've been kind of shadowing and researching up until this point. What do you do?
I'd like to. Is this a 2-story building?
It's more like 3 or 4. Again, they're kind of piled on top of one another for space purposes.
All right. What I'd like to do is to actually, say, approach it from the alley side where there might be, a rusty fire escape or something like that. Sure. And climb up the fire escape to look look inside the apartment from the back side, and first to see if he's even there.
Sure. So yeah, from the back does have a single small window. Again, these are not nice places, and glass is more expensive to cut and put in place than the kind of the corrugated tin that makes up the rest of this place. But yeah, as you don't even have you make a roll, you basically can pop up there and see in the window. Again, it's kind of like dirty. It's kind of that yellow haze when something's been around too much, smog type stuff. This is definitely in that area where you're going to see, again, the rail station, the large ships, etc. But yeah, you see in, and you probably kind of like smear the nastiness around to kind of get a better look inside. And eventually you see a little lantern sitting on a table. You do see a man, just kind of in like coveralls, something you'd wear, again, when you want to get nasty shit all over you, begin working at the docks and etc. etc. On the table are just 2 things: a shot glass and a bottle of some kind of hard liquor.
And he's there in the room? Yeah, he's there in the room.
There's a man.
There is a man in the room. Okay. Is his back to the window?
No, it's kind of like to the side. You basically have the front, the rear with the window, and he's kind of off to one side of the room facing the other side, almost as if it's like prime TV watching situation, if there were such things as TVs in this world.
Okay. Is how many rooms are there? Is there another? Is this one of, say, 2 rooms or 3 rooms? Or?
Nope, it's just 1 room. You can, as you kind of look in the window, you see that there's a 1 person, small bed, with a kind of a raggedy blanket on top there. This place shares a communal lavatory type of thing.
Okay.
So that's really it. There's like against another wall. Part of your view to the right is blocked, again, where he's looking at is blocked. But behind him, kind of close to the door, is a table with a basin, where he'd basically come in, pour out some water or pump some water, splash his face and that kind of thing as he comes home from work, etc., etc.
Okay. Uh, I think I'm going to open the window and climb in.
Sure. Yeah, unless you want to roll, just kind of see what kind of effect it'll have on him. But I'll say again, this is like nothing can go horribly wrong here at this point, at least. But yeah, you climb in the window rather sneakily. This is what you kind of do, and before you know it, you're kind of probably standing on the bed in the room.
Okay. Oh, do I? Oh, you might have said this already, but I didn't catch it. Does this person have a name that we know of?
Oh God, you know what? I probably give him a name, and I did not write it down. So, what would you like your father's name to be?
Well,
This is
I
the one
don't
time in
know.
your world where you'll get to do that.
I have no idea.
Okay, his name is Marcus Chambers.
Marcus Chambers.
At least that's what's on the kind of like the official paperwork for him.
Sure. Okay. I guess I'm still. I don't quite see the arrangement of the room, so I've crawled in the window. I'm standing on the bed.
If you're facing there, you're basically looking at the front door.
Okay.
Is on the opposite side of the room. He's on the left side of the room, looking towards the right, which is blocked by like a column type thing in place.
And where is the bed? Is that the right side of the room?
No, it's like it's the rear of the room by the window that you just crawled in.
Okay, I guess I'm trying to figure out if he has seen me crawl in or if he doesn't know I'm there yet.
Well, he's not looking in your direction, and like I said, I'm not concerned about rolls with this right now.
Okay, yeah.
So you got in, you're standing on the bed. He has no idea you're there. He's still looking at the other wall.
All right. I'm going to say, are you Marcus?
You see the guy start.
That's the name you gave him, right?
Yeah, Marcus.
Yeah.
Marcus Chambers. Yeah, he starts in place.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Who are you?" You can see his face. He's very grizzled. Doesn't shave often, obviously. He looks like he's lived a hard life.
Yeah. And what happened to my mother?
I don't know. Who are you? Who is your mother? He's like, right now he's kind of getting up. He's backing away towards the front of the place. This dude, however, or this person, individual, however slight, has just generated it himself into the room. No sound. This is his like home. This is his place of sanctuary. And suddenly there's this person there. Who's my mother? And
I take a step off the bed toward him, and I say, why was I raised in an orphanage?
And again, he's just terrified. He's basically pressed himself up against his front door, trying to back away from you. Like, who are you?
Think about it.
You can see he's in no mood to think. He's actually pretty terrified right now.
Yeah, good. Find your voice. That's what I'm saying to him.
He's like, what do you want me to say? I don't know who you are. I don't know who your mother is. I don't know where your mother is. I don't know where my mother is.
How old am I?
I don't know, how old are you?
That's what I'm just thinking about. 19 years ago. Tell me about 19 years ago.
It's like, I can't bloody remember yesterday. One day blends into the next. I have no idea. He's like, please just leave me alone.
I need you to remember.
You can see him just like he's petrified. He kind of moves his hand over to try to get to like his lantern and kind of pick it up, and so basically holds it between you, almost half like a weapon, to defend himself, and half like to see your face better.
Hmm.
He's like, show me your neck.
Why?
Show it to me. James holds out. You can see his hands now quaking on the thing.
All right. I pull my collar open, turn my head left and right, and then close the collar again.
He's like, he's trying to steady himself. He actually puts his one hand on the other hand to steady it, keep it from shaking. Then he takes it off and he moves his hand up to his own thing. Collar pulls it back, and he presses against the side, and you see what are like gill flaps kind of push up on the side.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you ain't got these. You're no spawn of mine.
Did my mother have them?
No.
So I'm a spawn of hers.
Not like she'd take you either.
Where is
Obviously.
she? Where is she?
She's long dead.
How?
Working in one of the factories down here, down in Coleridge. The accidents happen. It was a sad day, I admit.
Accidents. Tell me about the accident.
Machines break, things go flying, things hurt people. And she was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Really?
Really.
Hmm.
Now, is that what you want? Leave me be, leave me in peace? He's kind of starting to get a little more courage in his voice.
Uh-huh. I'll leave for now, but not in peace.
He kind of moves away, from the door so he can get through. He has no idea where the fuck you came from. You're like a freaking specter as far as he's concerned. So he backs away from the door. As he kind of backs away, and you see where he was looking at, there's a chair, a wooden chair with a back, and on this chair is a painting of a woman, and looks like there's a whole lot of grime on it. It's been sitting there for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had to guess, you kind of see your nose here, your ear there. Maybe it's your mom.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently he regularly just sits and looks at it.
Yeah. Instead of the TV. I walk over to the painting, not turning my back on it. Is it like a normal kind of size painting? Is it huge?
No, it's not huge by any means.
Yeah. Okay.
It's something you could easily put under your arm.
Okay. Which is what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to pick it up.
What are you,
put
some
it
kind of
in my arm.
scoundrel stealing shit right in front of a guy? Yes,
Uh,
of course you are. That's what this game is about. Goddamn right. Yes.
I'm. Did he actually say that? Are
No.
you some kind of
No, that was
Oh,
GM interlude there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break
oh
the moment.
okay. Yeah. All right. And I move back to the window, step onto the bed and out the window, down the fire escape, and away.
Cool. Very cool. Very nice. Yes, and you hear like the distinct sound of like someone throwing up as you're leaving, like retching, heaving.
Okay. Is that
And scene.
okay? Yeah. And cut.
And cut. Print. Yes. So yeah, you guys all notice. I'm assuming you display it in the lair somewhere, and which you use as your room, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you guys would see this new small-ish painting of a woman on the
Mm-hmm.
wall of his room. It's notable because there are probably so few things.
They might also notice me cleaning it before hanging it there.
Oh, neat. Cool. Yeah, it doesn't look like it was anything, special. Doesn't look like it was painted by a master or anything like that. But so it's like it's a little puzzling as to why he would take such good care of it. But definitely, it's like very gentle and thorough cleaning of it, getting the soot off, brightening the colors up. Suddenly, you can kind of see it transform from the darker, grimier part to the lighter, clean part as he goes. Cool.
Okay.
All right, excellent. Good scene. Anyone else have any free play type stuff they'd like to do?
Jennifer thinks that most of the rest of these people are crazy, and she's probably about looking to get out of this situation.
It's almost time to leave the cult.
Yeah,
Nobody leaves the cult, Junker.
Well, yes.
And if you try and leave the cult, we might need more volunteers.
Yes, which is why she's wanting to stealthily arrange passage on a ship back to Severos. Not right now, but I want to set up to do that.
Sure.
Like,
I mean,
sometime in the next episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, we won't. I won't go about doing a clock for it. That's something you can easily do during your downtime. Doesn't really require any special planning besides being alone, probably. So I'm assuming even like Fish, the other less fanatical of the crew, you wouldn't want to bring in on this. I'm assuming.
He's making plans to bolt in the near future.
So yeah. Are you reaching out through like your contacts, like at the gambling establishment you go to, that kind of thing?
Possibly that would work.
Cool. Excellent. All right. Yeah. Do you want to do a quick scene where you talk to them or something like that?
Sure.
What's that?
Sure.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, you're cutting out just a little bit.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. Doing fine. So, all right. Yeah. So you pop into the gambling establishment. What's the name of this place again?
Silver Stag Casino.
The Silver Stag Casino. Nice. So yeah, you're like being like a regular and Severosi yourself. You're just like there's a door person, kind of a gruff looking individual, lets you in without a hesitation. You're waved in past like a line of people waiting to get into the establishment and lose their money to the house, etc., etc. place is just filled with like, like any other casino, it's glitzy and bright even in the darkness of the night. So this is a place where the sun never shines, but inside the Silver Stag Casino, things look so bright. There's lanterns everywhere. There are several with like directed lights. Pardon me. Thank you. They're like directed lights to some places, kind of like, like a kind of like a strobe light almost, like you see like it spins in place, that kind of thing. But the place is just a bustle of activity when you get there. The tables are busy. There's people, kind of trying to push in for like a seat at the tables, that kind of thing. You see kind of your contact there. I believe it's a woman. Yes.
Yeah, Helen.
Okay. Yep. She's kind of at the back, and she sees you, and she kind of oh, kind of waves you and approaches to where you're standing. She's like, I hear the tables are hot tonight. You might have to win some coin. Maybe take it off of some of these. And she uses some kind of Severosi term for like, like non-Severoses, racial slur type of thing. Whatever the hell that is. I have no idea what the hell Severoses would use.
Yeah.
We can make one up, but yes, she uses the word. And take them for all they're worth too. And of course, leave some for the house. And we'll leave some for you, certainly.
Steve chuckles. It's like, Helen, I wish I'd come at a better time. I think I'm in a pretty bad situation right now, and I think that I need a way out.
Oh. She's like, you see this weird glint in her eye. She's in on the nightlife, the dark side of life here in town, and she's always going off on that tangent. And she's like, she kind of looks at you, looks back and forth, and kind of puts her hand on the back of your neck to get you closer, to whisper in your ear. She's like, do you need to fake your death?
I'm not sure I need to go quite that far, but
because I can make happen.
But getting a ship back to the old country in the near future, quietly, is something I would need to do.
Mm. She's like, you got a 2 coin for me, and I can arrange it all.
Yeah. And she'll just get like a couple sacks of silver slugs.
Like she was totally prepared for this request.
Yes.
She's like, she takes them both kind of surreptitiously. This is a gambling establishment, but it's nice not to be noticed for such things right out in the open. She's like, you look to me like a Tamina. You're Tamina now, or you will be soon. I'll get the papers. I'll get everything set up. How soon?
Pretty soon.
Within the next episode.
Within the next couple weeks, I'll say.
Excellent. All right. Now this is non-refundable. Can't give you back.
Yeah, I understand, Helen.
All right. You're going to be a pretty Tamina. Let me tell you. I'll get this set up. I'll make this right.
Best you've ever seen.
What's that?
The best you've ever seen.
The best you've ever seen. She definitely chuckles at that. She's like, hey. She kind of gives you a couple like chips Yeah, play a couple of games. Take your mind off of things for a little bit. It can't be that bad. Well, and she kind of, hefts the 2 sacks that you just gave her. And, well, maybe it can be, but enjoy a couple of free games in the house. Have a drink.
Yeah, she just shakes her head and chuckles and then goes to play some.
Awesome. Cool. Peacock and Breaker, would you guys like to do something? Don't want you guys to miss out on some free play action. There's something you'd like to do?
I mean, for Peacock, at least after the drowning incident, he's been obviously wrestling with his own inner demons,
No pun intended.
which are getting closer and closer to the
They're soon going to be outer demons.
Soon there'll be outer demons.
Cool. Did you want to do a little scene about that?
No, he's kind of laying low.
Yeah, after you murder somebody in your own cult, you have to wonder, like, was my guidance counselor totally off on this one?
It said I'd be going places. Is this somewhere?
Excellent. Yeah, and I'm sure like the rest of the crew and the remaining adepts noticed that.
Some of them are a little sketchy too. But it was a wonderful example of Shanasa's power.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, you notice that even though it's Breaker who is the authoritarian, it's you who everybody seems to like not want to upset at this point.
I did take haunted as my appropriate trauma.
Nice, very nice, cool. Breaker, how about you? Nope, you're muted, by the way.
Oh, dang it. Training with his team, continuing to build up his little militia into the actual fighting force. We want to.
Cool. You guys train down by that the place where you originally.
Sanctuary, yeah.
Yeah, the sanctuary. Yep.
Yep. Because that will be as primarily what they'll be. If they're not doing an operation, they're probably protecting the sanctuary because that's the place that people would hit if they're trying to hit us.
Sure.
So they lay of the land, so they train primarily there.
Gotcha. Now, when you're doing that, you're kind of probably the focus of that area. You're the only one who's kind of like definitely role played like activities there, a focus there, that kind of thing. What do you do when you notice like people watching, like either kids just kind of watching the military style drills, the the sword fighting with probably dulled weapons, maybe not, depending on how Breaker's doing that day. Or kids kind of gawking at the like, oh, someday I'll grow up to be one of those, to like street thugs who are like, you can kind of see they're looking for somewhere to fit in, somewhere to something bigger than themselves, type of thing. What do you do when you see such folks? What is your reaction? Do you take time out from the training? Do you ignore them?
Not ignore. How do I word this? How would he do it? I take it as part of the training. They're being watched. If he notices them an audience, he'll remark it. He'll remark it to the men. It's like, stand up straighter. Hey, you there! Get that guard in. You're being watched. We have an audience. You will not besmirch Hanash's name amongst potential believers. We will show them that we are a force to be working with, and that we are a force that will protect them.
Cool. Is there any like identifying feature, like a sash or a scarf or something that your cohort wears? Your crew's cohort, but the one you train, the
Yeah.
one you basically are the trainer. You're in charge of them more or less.
Oh yeah. It's a good.
Gang colors, if you will.
Exactly. You are make no mistake. You guys are a freaking street gang.
We're a street gang with illusions of becoming something greater.
There is
Illusions
that.
of grandeur. uh, what would be something that stands them out?
Yeah, what do you guys think? Any identifying marks or colors or items on your cohort? They belong to all of you, so to speak. So feel free to pipe in. What would be kind of cool to see your people wearing? And do you wear it too?
I mean, peacock certainly not, but
Like a silver medallion type thing.
Maybe something like more militarized dress, perhaps. They are wearing
Like actual uniforms.
no, actually, more like combat uniforms. They like form like instead of just like a bunch of random like bits and pieces. They all actually there is an actual like a standard armor that they are all wearing. The standardized standardized outfit. It's not we're not quite nice enough to get like full on uniforms and everything, but they're all wearing roughly the same outfit. All right.
Cool. All right, just want to put it out there.
Yeah. What would be good colors, do you think, to represent Shanaz?
Let's see. Well, blue and red comes to mind immediately.
Yeah, blue and red, blue and black, maybe.
Blue and black, yeah, that could work.
All right.
Yeah, if
I'd
it's
say
really
blue.
meant to be a sort of combat uniform, probably nothing, not real loud colors.
Yeah, like a muted blue and blacks, like patterned to like kind of model.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
good work.
And a headband that's got a tail that dangles down to the middle of their back like a fall of water.
Ooh, nice.
That looks. Maybe a reduced, maybe that, but slightly more. Like I think I would like that for like our assassins or stealth guys who aren't directly fighting. I would not allow that on our guys because that is way too much of a risk of someone just grabbing that stuff.
Yeah, I hear you.
But
Well, I mean, you can't be a proper thug without a bandana.
Yeah. Hello.
Got to be able to cover your face.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, on a blue bandana.
yeah.
That's cool. Oh, really good idea. It all comes together. Cool. All right. Cool, guys. Kind of curious. All right. All right. Anybody else have anything they wanted to pre-play real quick, or should we move on?
I don't know. I'm sort of suddenly imagining them all with turtle shells on their back.
There you go.
That's a different game entirely. That's a different game entirely. Oh, nee. Cool. All right. So let's jump into things. Let's see here. You get a word from actually one of your cohorts comes back. I'm assuming the cohorts have access to the secret lair, yes, or do they not?
Well, the adepts definitely do.
What's that?
I said the adepts definitely
Oh,
do.
absolutely, they do. Yes. Does your normal cohort
Do the thugs do?
do the thugs?
You're on mute again.
Yep. Breaker, you're on mute if you're talking. Yeah,
Dang,
you're probably saying this once in a lifetime deep talk, and then it'll be like, I can't recreate that ever again. That's just it was there. It was amazing. It was magical for that moment, and now it's lost in time.
Well, we're gonna have to get a lip reader in to find out what it was
There you go. The thugs probably do. They are also formal members of the cult that have been formally inducted.
True. Okay.
Because I was there. Anyone I trust that I picked, I felt were also trustworthy because they're going to be the military arm. You don't want your military to be not trusted.
Sure. What's the name of your most trusted guy as you were training him? What's his first name?
First name would be
or last name, or one of those two. No pressure.
Let's say Alex. Alex is the first name. Last name, I'll think up
He doesn't need a last name. It's fine. So
he's
Alex,
my budding second in command. If of them all, if I had to choose a second in command, it'd be him. I'm starting to push him towards that a little bit. He's
Gotcha.
seems somewhat fanatical, which is something I approve of, and is moderate, and there's some potential there.
Sure. So Alex and another one of your guys comes into the lair as you guys are doing whatever it is you do. At this point, we really know the audience does not want to know exactly what happens on an air. Before it was like a curiosity. If you're watching this show, which is Cult of Tides, the viewer was like, oh wow, what do cultists do in their downtime? And now they're like, oh, that's what they do. I don't want to know anymore. So we've now edited out a bunch of that. So we're not quite sure what happens behind the scenes a lot outside of rituals and stuff. But yes, the Alex and another one of your guys comes in, and he's like, he's like shaking his head as he comes in, and he though Breaker is kind of like the leader of the cohort, if you will. He knows that you guys are all his bosses, basically. You're his superiors. So he kind of comes to attention in your room, in your kind of central room, and you can kind of see, and he's shaking his head like he doesn't want to report this, but here we go. He's like, your man Hutchins. He says he has an offer that we can't refuse, and that we need to talk to him.
Can't refuse.
Those were his words, sir, not mine.
Sounds like he's up to another one of his scams.
He's like, I could smell some alcohol in his breath, but when don't you?
He's led us a couple good leads.
It cannot hurt to hear him out.
He's like, he said he'd meet you at the usual place, that little cafe that you like to dine at, Mr. Peacock. He just can't get through his head that, he has to call you by a name or Peacock or, there is no Mr. on this.
Like, that man drinks more than Tomas. Tomas was the guy who drowned.
Oh, damn. That was too soon. Oh, wow. Woo. Wow. We went there already, one episode later. Woo. Yeah, the whole room is suddenly quiet. All the adepts are especially, they suddenly see something that they need to study very closely. The other cohort guy that's with Alex is suddenly, a little taller in his posture, his attention spans. But yeah.
I mean, this doesn't sound as, I don't know, I guess probably sounded far too casual for Peacock's normal voice.
Oh my goodness. So yes. And Alex is like, as you say, sir.
Fine, we'll meet him. I gather my, little bit of things to bring with me.
Gotcha. So, let's see here. All right. So, are you guys going to go as a group? Just Peacock's going to meet?
I'll be going along to see, because the phrasing of that Breaker wants to make sure that it was just, he was drunk, and it's not like he's getting too big for his britches.
Sure.
Breaker doesn't like that phrasing. He's suspicious of it.
You can always refuse that offer, motherfuckers. That's what it is. All right.
Yeah.
Anybody else going? You got the whole crew going along? Just two?
Yeah.
Okay. Fish, you in?
I'm busy cleaning that picture, and I'm obsessed with cleaning the picture. Just get a
Ho
little
ho!
and I shrug and say, "Let me know
All right.
when you get back."
Okay. As you guys kind of get to the cafe, it starts raining a little bit. They have like a little, what's the word I'm looking for? The overhang
Awning.
awning. Thank you. They have an awning for just such a thing. They're kind of the cafe you guys have gone to is and there's seats outside, there's seats inside, and they can open up doors to make it one big area, if you will. But sure as heck, there sits Hutchins. He has this kind of walking cane type of thing, like that. Like he doesn't actually need a cane, but he likes the affectation of it. And he's sitting there at the usual table. Strangely enough, because it's in your neighborhood, it's in your hunting grounds. They do tend to keep that table like open and available, even when it's a crowded night. So yeah, it's like always just nobody's sitting there. Someone every now and then you've glanced, like someone sits there and then someone else kind of nudges them and says something to them, and suddenly they're not there anymore. So it's easily called your table at this point. So he's sitting at your table, and he smiles and stands, and he kind of motions with his cane. Come.
I
So
make
what
my
did
way
you want,
over.
Hutchins?
He's like, first he kind of greets Peacock. He's like, "It is excellent to see you, sir. And always to the point, madam. I like it. And you." He's not a fan of Breaker, by the way, if we haven't figured that out yet. Breaker's a little too, I don't know, steel hands type of thing, But he kind of waits for you guys to sit down and sits after you, with good etiquette.
Of course, I motion to the wait staff to bring him something.
Excellent. Which they do, and they know exactly what he wants. He always seems to order this weird mixture of things that it's like his drink, but they kind of know it by heart now. And starts to sips at it, and he's like, "So, I see your daft little Alex was able to bring you the message. Yes, apparently." Kind of looks around. He looks like he's trying to rib Breaker a little bit, but otherwise he's like, "So, I came upon a contact who was actually looking for me because they can't find you. Good for you, bad for me sometimes, but in this case, good." He's like, he kind of looks around. And he's kind of edges closer into the table to talk more quietly to you guys. "The crows have noticed you. They've seen what you've done for this neighborhood and how you helped out in theirs. They're looking to assemble a council. Council of gangs? Should we put it like that? A council to better rule over, divide up the various areas. And the things sound very lucrative. They'd potentially allow you to claim a great portion of this neighborhood and several others for your use, for your worshippers." And when they presented me with that, I figured I would at least pass it by you and see if you were interested in such an arrangement. You would be working with people above your stature presently, but not for long.
Council of like-minded individuals.
And the crows are in this district, yes?
Crows are they're basically like the de facto gang head of Crow's Foot.
Okay.
They're like the
So
main
this is
overreaching gang
Like,
of that area.
how do we know they're not just looking to get everyone in the right spot for a cleaning?
For a red wedding.
Fish is not there.
Oh, right.
But we get it.
Yes. Like, I was concerned about that also. To lay your concerns, he is happy to have you bring not just a representative, but your crew and cohort, if you'd like. He,
my
under-
boys.
he understands.
What influence do the crows have in Silk Shore? Are they mostly stuck to Crow's Foot?
He's like, Tucker, that's an excellent question. And the answer to that is they have influence in Crow's Foot. And their tendrils reach out, if you will, to other places. Others that they influence, they owe favors to, and those who owe favors to them. And the right exchange of favors, when grouped with such a council, could push things in the right direction. So to answer your question is, I see it as viable. Potentially. I do not want to speak on your behalf or pass up this opportunity.
Well, it would give us the opportunity to make more connections to set us up for the future.
Yeah,
We'll meet.
he nods. It's like, I leave it to your discretion, but I wanted to pass on the message. I am but an emissary, a very well paid one, and he kind of picks up the drink and drinks it. What do you do?
I assume he gave us a time and or is it just a concept?
Time and a place.
Time and a place. It's just outside of Crow's Foot on the docks. So if you're looking at your map, yeah, kind of around here-ish.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, gives you a time and a place, and that's pretty much it. He does pass on like a little, kind of like a scrolled up invite, if you will. But other than that, yeah, that's you guys now all know, know that all that he has.
I mean, I guess I would suggest that we, at least case the area somewhere before the meeting, just to, make sure that we can, have a safe exit, should this be a setup.
Of course.
Cool.
Fallback position, areas of retreat, the usual. But I think we should attend, so long as we do not find anything untoward during the reconnaissance. This could be a great boon for our continued growth.
Excellent. So, says, should I pass on to the man that you're interested that you'll be there, or should I tell him that they should look for others to interest in such an arrangement.
We'll be there.
Very well then.
Sounds interesting.
I will let them know. Is there any other message you'd like me to pass on?
Now I'm just debating whether or not to reveal we're bringing the cohort or not. It would be polite.
Just don't tell them how big the cohort actually is. Here on the side of not letting them know that, on a smaller cohort that actually exists. This is, do we have the skill of telepathy across distances?
Not yet.
No.
We don't.
Okay, forget what I said. Wipe that out of the record.
Yes. Jury, please ignore the statement by the
Man who is not here.
man who's not here. All right, cool. Do you guys want to kind of make that into kind of like a quasi what we're looking
I
for?
don't think
Score.
It's really a score
Information
as
roll?
much as
Or, yeah.
just a
Probably be like a social score.
Yeah.
Or
Or just
The meeting
a free play
itself.
type thing. Whichever way you guys
I
want to do it.
I'd be fine with having the meeting be a social score with some potential for mayhem. Who knows?
Hmm.
Who knows what might happen?
Okay. All right. So
Up to you guys.
to clarify, how do you guys want to handle that then? Do some at least some looking around.
I'd say that I was thinking of doing some buy information rolls to make sure for like fallback, lay of the land, military type questions.
Gotcha.
Now that'd be Breaker's plan
Okay.
for the.
So have you returned to the sanctuary and filled
Yeah, we
fish in
have at
on
this
this
point.
stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they're either looking for allies or looking for fall guys. I suggest
As-
we be prepared for both.
Indeed. I'll be moving there to take the lay of the land, find any fallback positions, escape routes, such things, if they need, if the time comes.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Well, if you guys want to do some kind of like find information type situations, why don't we do that?
All right. I can assist Breaker like usual, and we'll just case the joint as we tend to do.
In this
Yep.
case, it's the inverse. Instead of how do we attack this place, it's how do we escape? How do we make a running retreat and flee this place in the most secure manner possible? So how would I how would I basically he's going to be surveying the area, and his big thing is how would I launch an ambush or attack this place? Okay, now how would I avoid that? Like routes to escape, routes to defensible areas, things of that nature.
Oh, sure. Cool.
Roll.
All right. All right. So why don't you ask? Oops, sorry. Over there.
That's not too bad.
That's not too bad. All right. Why don't you ask like between you and Junker? Why don't you ask me 3 questions?
Let's see. Best route to escape from an ambush. On how to lead a fighting retreat from the meeting location.
Gotcha.
Best route for that.
All right. So the place you're meeting at is like it's kind of like a detached 2-story place. There are stairs that go up side of the outside that bring you up there, and that second story place is where you're having your meeting. The first story is basically like no, there's just a bar. Nothing, kind of nondescript. Nothing to talk about. There's again, you're in the docks now, so this is definitely some hard drinking guys and gals. And it's kind of interesting that it was definitely, it could have been put on the second floor, but do you really want a lot of drunk people trying to amble downstairs after they spent their entire week's pay on booze? Probably not. So yeah. A retreat. So there are a couple things. One, there is there is a series of alleyways behind here where you can make it kind of a quick quiet getaway, but the negative side being that it's also you get to a point where there are the places are too close together that there's no you're now in a
single file.
a single not single file, but you basically can't get out of this route basically for several blocks. You're kind of holed in. So it's
So
quick.
if someone's on the other side, you're running right to them.
Yes. So again, yeah. So positives, it's quick. It's right there. It's surreptitious. You're not going to be seen by a whole lot of people. Negatives, yeah. You could be kind of have someone on the other side waiting for you. Second, interestingly, is that there is a Blue Coat substation. I would say about 2 blocks away. Again, this is the docks. You need booze. You need law people to stop the people who are drinking the booze from doing more illegal things than they generally.
Burly dock workers who are not adverse to a hard day's labor.
Yes.
This is not a bunch of students getting drunk.
Yeah,
this is a bunch of dock workers getting drunk.
Yes. These are guys with, tattoos of the number of people they've killed on their shoulder and stuff like that. In a bar fight.
Whalers drink in the docks.
Yes.
And when a bunch of drunk whaling crew shows up, you need an army to stop them.
Yes, so there is that, and that's why there is a substation there of Blue Coat. So, ironically, one of your best protections might just be to freaking be where the Blue Coats are and involve them. They're kind of in the opposite direction from where you'd go if you wanted to try the alleyway exit. So those are the main choices. Otherwise, just basically the whole get downstairs and scatter is an awesome plan. Who wants to ask me another question? Junker or Breaker? You have 2 more to go.
Ambush points. What would be for it?
Yeah.
Let's say we're at the meeting. What would be I think something to watch out? Where would people be attacking from if this was an ambush?
Sure.
Yeah, like if I wanted to set myself up at one of those points, maybe.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
How would we attack it? Now, how do we defend against us?
Sure. So, again, yes, this is kind of like one of those scenes from those military movies. Right over yonder, that ridge there. That's where I'd put a sniper.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Yes. So there is what do you call it? Like a shipwrights store. It's basically one of those where it's half it's kind of like half warehouse, which is kind of right across the way from where you're talking about being at. It's basically one of those where they bring the ships or not the ships, but the smaller vessels actually inside, and the inside here is where they basically clean off the hull,
Barnacles,
the barnacles, shine
raise the
everything
ship up. Yep.
Yeah, exactly, all that stuff. So that's part of it is like storefront and warehouse, and there is on the top where there's basically it's kind of it's open because there's this big pulley system thing going on there. They use to lift up the boats to get them into place, and basically, so you have basically if you can imagine like an open ceiling, except for maybe 4 feet, 4 feet edge on each side, and then over that comes like the top of like the building where it basically has like all the rooftop to kind of shelter it from the water. So you have this open space here, and that right under the roof, but on that 5 foot margin there, facing the bar, well, the bar and meeting place, which is be a nice spot for such a thing. It's kind of concealed. It's high up. It has an uninterrupted view of the meeting place. Like you can actually see, as part of this role, Junker probably actually went in there, kind of found her way up and can actually sees like she can see in the kind of the windows there, and there are like 4 large windows on each side of that building up on the top. This is made for like some kind of at some point in the long distance past, this is like some kind of meeting place. But as the city evolved, so did this, and now it's like a bar downstairs and whatever upstairs. So there are windows on each side. So again, you could actually see someone in there easily. And that may be part of the reason they picked it. Who knows? So the downside to that is there are windows on the other sides which are similar to that. So kind of this becomes a pick a building. How far away can you shoot if this was your goal? Otherwise, yeah. So that's kind of what you're looking at.
Okay. Otherwise, just the single winding staircase winding around the building up to the second. Is there a way in from the inside, or is it just that winding on the external?
Nope. There's not.
Okay. So just the one door if they want to. So on the one hand, just that one door. On the other hand, an entirely open, windowed area with an exposed exterior staircase leading out. Excellent place for sniper.
All right. Anyone else with the question? One more question, Junker or Breaker. All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I was going to ask.
Oh, right before the bell.
Yeah, okay, so there's blue coats.
Yes.
Maybe we could beforehand, try to bribe them to like look out for us on the night.
Well, that could be a flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more of a flashback type of thing. Should you need it, it's there. If you don't need
Exactly.
it, you didn't waste your time.
Yep.
Okay.
It's like the ambush is sprung. Flashback right when it's sprung. The blue coats were up and tipped off. It's like I'll definitely be keeping that in mind just in case. But I think it could be done by a flashback.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Excellent. All right. So we have one more. If Fish and Peacock want to run another one, do you have something you'd like to find out or anything like that?
What are your thoughts, Fish?
You don't have to, but I'm putting it out there. You guys
as far as I mean, I'm just looking at the map on this area. The area on the map that they proposed is kind of it is kind of a cornered area. There's just one bridge that effectively is part of it, and then there's docks. There's water and docks on the other 3 sides. Fish is not real happy with this location.
Yeah, I might make a suggestion. Maybe you could try to figure out who all will be there.
Ooh.
What?
Figure out who will be there.
From the crows?
Or from anyone.
I
I could hobnob and see about getting a, getting an idea of who's, been reached out to.
Cool. And Fish, would you want to go along with that?
To do what? I was looking at the map, sorry.
Yeah, to kind of hobnob around with the various areas, et cetera, et cetera.
Hobnob for what purpose?
We're gonna go around and find out who else has been invited, and you know, again, whatever information each of these individuals can might have about the situation. Because he said it was a
Well,
council
I
gang.
guess,
We don't know who the rest are.
yeah, I mean, you're sort of the hobnobber.
Yeah, that's fine. I just was opening it up to if you wanted to go with or not, but you don't
Yeah.
have to.
I'm just trying to. I notice in the book there's sort of on the east end of the docks, there's the menagerie, which I'm just trying to figure out how we could incorporate that into this plot. It's kind of far away.
Oh, just lost my video.
Fenced off muddy field dotted with rusting animal pens, water tanks, and gauzy signage. Sailors traditionally drop off any curious creatures they pick up in their travels, which Captain Rye, the strange proprietor, incorporates into his makeshift zoological display.
I think that's another great
I
opportunity.
really want that to be part of the story, but I don't know.
I think that's another great opportunity for a flashback if we need to, unleash a distraction.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Suddenly oddities running down the streets.
Yeah, so
Suddenly.
let me get together with the other local gangs of, about our tier and, the person who contacted Hutchins and kind of find out who the who's been invited. Hopefully without raising too many, eyebrows, for those who haven't been invited.
Cool. All right. And Fish, do you want to help out with this at all, or are you gonna sit back for this one?
I'm not really a hobnobber. I just wonder if trying to recall, where does Fish stand with the gondoliers at this point?
Right now, you guys are good. You're right
Okay.
now. Your crew is neutral to them.
Sure.
Yes.
I'm
So one
again, this
thing.
might be, I don't know if this would be a flashbacky thing, but it seemed like Fish might be able to talk to the gondoliers to potentially provide a water escape route if we
A
needed it.
boat.
Yeah, that sounds like a flashback thing,
Okay.
just in case. But as for helping out Peacock, I mean, one of the things, as he stated, you're trying to avoid is, you don't want to attract too much attention, etc. Bring too much attention to yourselves as you're doing that. So you could be using your stealth abilities to basically to kind of just cruise around the crowds and see who's trying to watch. That would
Okay.
that would certainly
Sounds
assist
good.
in such a role.
Yeah. All right. Good idea.
Okay, sorry about that. I was distracted by that thing here. All right, yeah. So let's go ahead and do the roll, and you'll get basically what are you looking to use? I'm assuming something like
I think consort.
Consort is fair. Okay.
Consort.
Okay.
Again, I'm really, I'm reaching out to connections and pressing the flesh, so
Gotcha.
Seems most appropriate.
All right. Cool. And you'll get the extra die from Fish, kind of, watching the crowd. Nice. Wow. So all right. So let's do this. I'll say that I'll give you 2 questions if someone noticed you, or someone is kind of noticing the questions you're asking, or 2 questions, or I'm sorry, or 1 question and nobody notices.
Oh, we'll let them notice.
Okay.
As long as we know who notices, that's all that matters.
Okay. All right. That'll be your partial success here. So okay. Tell me. Let's hear your questions. Both you and Fish get to ask if you'd like. You have 2.
So I'll go in sort of the apocalypse world direction. Who's been invited that we need to worry about?
Well, basically there is there is no group that you're friendly with, except I think you're edging up on the crows a bit, but there's nobody who you really have a stunning, repartee with at the moment. But there are a few who you're enemies of. You're at least you're negative. So as far as you're able to tell, it's going to be 4 groups. It's going to be the crows. It's going to be you guys. It's going to be the gray cloaks and the cabbies, believe it or not.
Cabbies, you said?
Yeah.
As in ground transport? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They're kind of like
Where are the
gondoliers, but
gray-
on land.
Where are the gray cloaks located? Is this an official question if I ask that?
Yes, it is. Well, no, it's not. I mean, the gray cloaks are. Let's see, where are they out of? Da-da-da. The basement of a burned out city watch station. It actually doesn't say what place. I'm assuming that basically they're blue coats from all over, that they won't have a turf per se, just like the blue coats don't, that kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah, nobody that you're enemies with right now, at least.
Okay. And the second question would be, do the others think the gray cloaks are on the or the crows are on the level?
The word that you guys are getting is, again, you're kind of plying several different people with drinks and etc. Kind of as you kind of go through the various mini parties that you're hosting, if you will. The basic feeling is that there's this strange between the 3 that we've already mentioned, the gray cloaks, the crows, and the cabbies. These 3 are strangely not concerned about, like, underhandedness here. There are things that gangs do, like you guys are doing right now. You kind of see someone by the meeting place, et cetera, et cetera. But there's really been no such thing with those 3 gangs, and they're all sending representatives.
Okay.
So strange.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
So before we go, the only thing I say to the group, or the only thing I needed to say to the group, is, if I ever give you if I ever start reciting the 3rd chant, run.
Right now, Fish is like, oh god, was that the 1st? Was that the 4th? I can never fucking remember.
Are you saying that to us?
Yep.
Okay. Well, my question, which isn't, I don't think it's one of the 2, is who is it? Part of the deal was 2 questions, and then but the questioning is observed. Do we get to know who observed the questioning?
No.
Watchers.
That would be an extra question.
Okay.
So no.
Understood.
Cool. All right. Anything else for you guys when I head over there? Have any other adepts?
The lack of suspicion among the other 3 groups doesn't seem natural. This is Fish talking. And And I find it hard to believe that they've just all come to some sort of agreement amongst themselves. And I have a suspicion that there is some other person or entity at a higher power level that has organized these three groups. And
It is an unusual.
and
it is
who or what is that is what I'm wondering.
Oh, we have one way to find out.
Okay. Yeah, but I think we should be looking out for that possibility.
That does seem reasonable.
Very.
Okay. All right. So instead
They're all
of jumping,
higher tier.
what was that
I was gonna say they're all higher tier than we are too.
scary? So it's 8:25. Do you guys want to just break now, and we'll look at things when we get back from the break?
Sure.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and do your
Back
break,
in a
guys, and we'll see you in 10.
Okay.
All right. See you then.
All right, and we're back from break. Hope everybody is hydrated, etc. All right, so now, what are you guys doing? Is everyone going in? Are you guys bringing a cohort? Are you guys bringing adepts, or is Junker taking a sniper position? What's your plan here?
I mean, Peacock's going in the front door, of course. I like the idea of Junker in a sniper position. I think that's tremendously useful.
She has proved to be so in the past, yes.
Fish, do you want to even be visible?
Or
you could just be lurking around somewhere and no one would know where you were.
I want to actually look around in this warehouse. This sniper position, could be. We're probably not the only ones aware of that as a good sniper position. And so I basically want to lurk up in the sort of rafter pulley system of this place to see if anybody else shows up.
Three different snipers are all just hanging out in the same. What brings you here?
Exactly,
Which thing are you from? Oh yeah. I'm watching out too. They're all just sitting next to each other.
Yeah, basically just like guard my back in case somebody else shows up.
Yeah, well, I mean, this could get really complicated. Anybody else is going to send a sniper is probably also send somebody to keep an eye on their sniper. So I don't know. I'm what? Yeah.
So you could just be like a spotter.
Be like 20 different people all up in the crow's nest.
Funny. All right.
I mean, I think that's still what I'm going to do, but I'm also going to be aware there's probably going to be other people. If there are other snipers, there are also people who are keeping an eye on their sniper.
Yeah, and if there were such people, they don't have a freaking grappling hook to traverse the area. So you guys are already ahead of the game.
All right.
All right.
Anyway, I get to use my shock now.
Yeah, your shock gloves.
I want to use it so bad.
All right, Breaker, are you going in the front door? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm going through the front with my unit.
And your cohort?
What does I mean, my unit? Yes. Truly,
sorry,
I am the absolute
I'm 12.
unit and the cone. Yes, you're correct.
I'm sorry.
We're bringing the adepts. I'm pretty sure they'd be very useful. No, we're bringing the thugs.
Yeah. They'll, if there's a chess game to the death in here, those adepts will got your back, I can tell you.
There you go.
Cool. All right. Yeah, so Junker and Fish take out their positions. Not too difficult. They plan this kind of after hours, if you will. Technically, the docks are always kind of busy. You know, there's always some kind of ship coming or going or what have you, or people preparing to get things ready to come or go, that kind of thing. But this is kind of like the lag, the low tide, if you will, of business being conducted in this area. Cat hair run over. So yeah, you guys go up the stairway. Door is closed but unlocked. You open it and you see three people. One of them is a person you guys would know of the Crows. You guys have done business with at least one of their lieutenants before. And this guy is, you see, the guy you recognize as Bell. He is like the second in command of the Crows. The other two you don't recognize. You guys really haven't had any dealings with either of the other two gangs. You do know that like the cabbies are kind of like the more like thuggish of like the transport groups. Like the gondoliers are pretty much what they're what you read on the label is what you get. They transport people around, they take money for that, and they occasionally kill ghosts, etc. The cabbies are more like, yes, we'll get you where you're going, but yes, we're going to rip you off at every point. Every now and then a fare gets beaten up and gets their stuff taken, etc., etc. But they're kind of a necessary evil in the area. So there you go. Yeah.
I was a cab driver in New York City for 4 years, and I take offense at that description.
Did you have a giant goat? Come on.
But yeah, I had a giant goat pulling my cab around.
So yes, the gray coats guy is, again, it's kind of obvious to kind of pick out who's who here. The guy representing the gray coats is known, you recognize, but he looks like he's old enough. He probably would have, if he had stuck with the gray coats, he would have collected a pension by now, basically, or the equivalent.
Well, apparently aren't the gray cloaks just like former members?
They're former blue. Yeah, that's what I kind of mean. If had they they're
Oh,
former blue coats. Had they stuck with the
had
blue
he
coats,
still been part of the blue coats? Okay.
yeah, he'd have been like
He's a
retired by
veteran.
now instead of
Yep.
being a gang member right now. The irony of it all. Yeah, and the place is pretty bereft of very much furniture. There is like a bar type thing in one area. Like this is at one time was probably like when the place is doing better, it was probably like an expansion of the bar below. There's a bunch of chairs. There's several tables. Right now, things have been set up for this meeting. Looks like there are a total of 4 different tables, several chairs at each, and there we are. What do you do?
Yeah, we are.
I'll greet and introduce myself.
And the gray coat guy, he introduces himself as Fairs.
Bears.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, you should pick your loadout too.
Oh sure. Well, it's technically not a score, but yeah, this is kind of a score. Yeah. So how do you guys want to look? What is your load level looking like for reference?
I'm at low.
Let's see. I'm probably, usually I go light, but since I'm really not making myself
Present,
visible
yeah.
anyway, I'm going to go normal just in case.
Okay.
Just in case I need to pull out a few more things.
Gotcha. Junker? What's that?
Normal.
Normal. And how about Breaker?
What was Peacock bringing?
I'm going light, but I mean, I'm not exactly someone who's wandering around with weapons and armor usually. So,
Yeah.
So he says.
unlike some people,
Breaker. Breaker.
Honestly, I'll go normal because it's part. It fits. I'm bringing I'm bringing a cohort to the meeting, so it fits that. It fits in with the cohort. Of course, not exactly stealthy or unobtrusive.
Excellent. So yeah, you guys do your meeting thing. So you basically walk in, people are introduced. Bell, you guys kind of recognize him. You've seen him before. The other two, so you got Fairs is the gray coat representative, and Hooks is the cabbie representative, and I'll say it's a she. Um, she you can kind of see like her hands are the thing you notice about her is her hands are all calloused up. She's definitely lived a hard life, either holding the reins of a big ass goat or working on the docks herself or wherever. But she's the most like in the trenches of the three, if you will.
okay,
And with that, they invite you to sit down.
I will.
Cool. Fish and Junker, from your perches, you see kind of just what I've described. There is you see like just three people in there that they met. There's like your cohort comes in, and how many in your cohort these days? Is it 4?
Like 5 or 6 people.
5 or 6? Okay. So yeah, it's kind of like it's almost like amusing. Like there's like 3 guys, and then suddenly your group comes in, and it's another 2 plus another 6. Probably see Peacock and Junker sit down while the cohort like fans out behind them in like kind of like a ready to go stance. And
All casual,
all casual, like as you do when you're
Yeah,
a scoundrel in Duskvol. Um, yeah. So chat starts up. The Hooks kind of starts up. So she's like, "So it looks like we're trying to form a consortium of sorts, council, ruling body, if you will. And you guys are some up and comers. We're all over the place. We help them all. We help everyone. We're in all districts. We're happy to transport and steal and do whatever needs to be done to get a fair wage in this town." And crows are like, "And I'm here to vouch for the Driftwalkers. They've done some good things all throughout the area. They're up and comers. I think they have a good shot. They belong around here." And the gray coat, he kind of like looks you guys over. He's like, you just think, you can see how he's like mentally looking at like memorized mug books, if you will. Who have I seen? And his eyes kind of actually dart to Peacock. He kind of gives like a wink, a knowing wink of sorts. And
I've been like, I've met your kind more than once.
yeah, he's like, "Oh, don't call me, don't group me with them anymore. I'm freelancer. I'm on my own, making some real money." And there's several lanterns, one in each corner. Place is nicely lit. There's no secret dark areas right now. And with that, the Hooks kind of gestures to you guys to say your piece. What do you do?
Oh, are they sort of looking for like what do we bring to the table type
Yeah,
thing?
yeah. We've now come to that portion of the show where it's like, why are you here?
Like, I think if you've followed us, we've proven that we can achieve whatever goal we want.
It's like, well, that could be said of any of us, mate. And yeah, Bill or Bell rather, the Crows representative. He's like, I've seen them in action. They know what they're doing. They keep their heads down under fire. And
What's the Crows game? What's their market, so to speak?
I believe they're like a little of everything. They're just kind of more
Okay.
like territory control is their
Like-
game.
We've excelled at handling the supernatural elements.
Yep.
And the Hooks is like, come on, Belle. What? Yeah, they done some ghost stuff, but why are they here? I agree to this meeting because you brought us to the table, and that's good. We like that. But these driftwalkers, they're just cultists worshiping a god that doesn't even exist. Why are they here?
Uh-oh.
And then that's when the fairs, the gray cloaks represent. He's like they're just thugs. They got an organization. They're below us, but you got a good reason for bringing them here, don't you?
Doesn't exist, you
And that's when shit went south.
You see, Breaker has this trauma called unstable.
What does Breaker do?
Well, he gets up from the table. Doesn't exist. That those are some interesting words, some quite provocative words. His eyes, his eyes start to glow slightly. Blue and black starts playing through his eyes.
Peacock just rubs his forehead a little bit.
Why didn't I
Breaker
bring a
now's
higher
not the time.
load?
Yeah. Oh
Fish kind of slides down to Junker and says, maybe we should shoot him.
no!
I'm considering it.
I'm so happy right now.
Yeah, so you guys can't hear anything, but yeah, you can see it doesn't. It's
Yeah,
kind of one of
we
those
get the
scenes.
feel.
Yeah. It's one of those scenes where you don't need to know. It's like, oh shit, and there goes
I think
Breaker
I'll
taking
try and
offense.
distract the scene a little bit and be like, really, Belle, why are you bringing us in on this?
Bell's kind of like, you could see him kind of getting some kind of pleasure from Breaker's reaction, and he doesn't try to conceal it. He's like, just cutting to the chase. He's like,
if you keep on taking too much more time, I don't want to have to. Well, I don't want Breaker to break anything.
oh, well, that's Bell. Bell kind of stands that, and he's not nonplussed by this at all. He's very. This is fine. This is fine. He gets up. He's like, I was, and the weird oddity here. His accent changes now, distinctly Severosi. He's like, I was really hoping to drag this out for a little, to play the game, to enjoy the cat, the mouse, and the other, the blue coat, brown coat, wrong freaking game. The gray coat and Hooks are kind of both looking at him like they obviously know this guy, and for him to be speaking in such an accent is way out of character. He's like, yeah, You are taking all of the pleasure away from this situation. And Ferris is like, what is going on here? He actually stands up and takes out a pistol, and he aims it straight at Bell. I was like,
You
come
gotta
now.
still sit down.
It's like, come now. I'd, you know. He kind of shakes his head and he looks around the room. He's like, I was hoping that your entire crew would be here. Where's that lady? Where's that junker?
Get to the point, or you might find out.
He's Breaker is now edging into his cloak as well. Prepare. He has a long coat, and his hand is now inside the long coat.
He's like, I've spent the last few weeks accruing power. I spent the last few weeks drinking the soul of poor Belle. You left me. You took my brothers. You put them in your water jugs. And you knew my anger was strong. You knew it would carry me on, and I want to find her. Where is she? She is the one who most wronged me. Where is she? I'll tear it from you later. And
now it all makes sense.
He's like, the dullard gets it. And with that, it's kind of like he swipes a hand over towards Freeze. What do I call him? Freeze. Yeah. So towards Freeze, and suddenly Junker and Fish, your view is obscured by blood on the windows facing you.
Crap. Got blow out those windows. Time to start.
Yeah. Where were they standing?
Oh. Well, I know what my first command's gonna be to my boys.
Is the blood on the windows from the poor gray cloak?
Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry. I should have established that. Yes. He. Yeah.
I mean, it could have just been a neat visual effect. I don't know.
No. I'm sorry. Yes. His hand moves in that guy's direction, and suddenly the blood from his nearly severed head is splayed in a stretching pattern on the windows and slowly dribbling down.
That's a big oof.
What do you do? Meanwhile, poor Hooks is basically pushed herself back in her chair out of just terror. She herself is also splattered with the blood. You guys have been spared that part, but she has a face full of gray cloak blood on her face. Well, she is not going to be much help. So here, do you guys? Here's where this kind of stuff comes into play. Do we buy anything that? Let's see. Oh, you do have a +1 resistance rolls against supernatural threats. So right off, I need you guys to make a resolve roll to basically not run in terror, or try to escape. You guys do get a +1 to this roll.
+1.
Actually, would my ghost fighter come into play on this one?
Let's see what that is.
It's like I have potency against the supernatural.
I also have
don't
potency against the supernatural.
But I don't know if it's like I don't know if that gets you if that helps.
Right now this is so this is a resistance roll. So potence doesn't play a part in this. This is just as if you were trying to resist
scary badass guy.
Yeah. So you're not at a point where that takes effect, but that absolutely does. That will come into play. No.
Oh yeah. We're not whispers. Whispers are the ones they just go no.
Yeah.
You need to have the Iron Will special ability for the Spur class in order to immune the terror from supernatural entities.
So I'll make a resist.
That's the one I was thinking of. Resolve.
All right.
Dang. Take 2 stress.
Take 2 stress.
Do we need to make it out here or just them?
No, you guys do see the blood on the windows. It's mostly obscured. There's like a lot in a very small amount of time. But yeah, you guys don't have to make. You two don't have to make a resolve roll. You're not there yet. All right. So 1 stress for Neokri.
Stress.
I'm gonna say your well-oiled machine of a group of a cohort is going to stick to their guns, so to speak. In fact, that's what they're drawing. Like they're all getting guns out.
He will. Breaker will yell out, "Break the windows!"
So yeah, one of your cohorts, actually 2 of them, probably actually fire through the windows. Windows are coming out. Now you Fish and Junker can both see. They see like they see basically like the back of a head, like of what you the same hairstyle as the as Hooks, basically pressed up against what's left of one of the panes. Has been blown out, and you actually see her turn around and look, and you see both Fish and Junker see the look in her eyes. She tells them that she's thinking of, should I jump? Should I just jump? I could just jump. I'm terrified enough. I might just go for the jump.
Hook was which?
Hooks was the
which?
cabbie.
Hook is a cabbie. Well, that's someone we gotta get out of here. Or at least get some kind of connection out of this.
Yep. Otherwise, you do see Bell, his hand now bloody, held up as kind of like like this to everyone else in the room, as if to display what he's just done a little better. He's like, "Where's the woman?"
I'm gonna
Like,
go spider
oh, we have a woman. I'm not sure if it's the one that you want. And I'm gonna like to spend a flashlight or a flashback to have brought a connection for Ava.
Oh, cool. Nice. Cool. It'll be a 0. I mean, this doesn't require anything special or
Okay.
any preparation. So let's play a quick scene. What are you doing?
I would have met with Ava beforehand. Said, we're going up against gangs above our level. They're in a different bracket than we are. We suspect foul play. You are someone they're not familiar with. A power they're not familiar with. I doubt they'll be prepared if we bring our own ghost.
She's like what was I'm trying to think. She basically says, I am bound to you now. You freed me from my prison, and now I'm with you. I will be there when you need me. I'll be there for Shnas. And you see this kind of just sad look in her eyes, like, part of it's like she used to be the one in control and calling the shots, and now she's like the helper underling, and half like, just that you're doing something exciting, and that she is just this afterthought, this disembodied thing that gets to come along for the ride. Yeah. So, why don't you describe what happens with Eva?
I mean, out of
in the
character,
scene.
I have no idea what she's going to, bring to the table here. But I think it's, Ava, materializing, from off to the side, and then, coming over. Be like, you think your friends that we shoved in our urns are the only ghosts we've helped? No. Those are the ones we helped move on.
I actually forgot what happened to those guys.
What's that?
What happened to those guys? I actually forgot.
You released them into the canals.
Yeah, they got peace, and then we released them.
Okay.
So we have no control of, we don't know where they are, anything anymore. They're not
Right.
under our control.
So I think I'm trying to really play some bluffing game with this guy a little bit to get him to back down or consider, is he really doing the right thing? And
Gotcha.
by right thing, meaning challenge us, as opposed to, being, an upstanding citizen.
All right, hold on. Let's see here. Let's do.
I mean, for all I know, I could just also be just distracting him until Breaker tries to carve him
Funny. All right, can you
a
just
new
one
hole
sec?
in
As
afterlife.
soon as I get out of that flesh suit, and I can get to know him real nice and close.
Let's see here. Come on. Give me just 1 second. I'm sorry. All right. Let's bring you guys over here. Okay, your guys' screen will change. And oh, I picked the, of course I picked the wrong size ones. Sorry, hold on.
Oh no.
Basically getting some tokens in place here. Come on, where? Oh, here it is. Let's remove this.
I'm now glad for my life choices. Well,
Say, now you're
for
getting out the
Breaker's
12
life
segment clock.
choices.
What's that?
Are you getting out the 12 segment clock?
Let's see.
20 segment clock. Oh no.
Let's see here. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8.
I'm
And
very glad I bought Ghost Fighter now. I suspected I might need it.
and here is.
Yeah, I might need to do a flashback of my own. I'm going to be fighting stuff like this.
What's that again?
I just said I might need to do a flashback of my own if we're going to do stuff like about this.
Sure.
Everybody gets a flashback. You get a flashback. You get a flashback.
Yeah, and all right. Are those all legible for you guys?
Sure.
What are we looking at?
That's what you would be telling me if it was legible.
I see an Oreo cookie that's labeled Vampire Health.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so these are clocks.
Oh, Vampire Back Down. That's
Oh, that's much worse than I
Oreo cookie
thought.
with a green.
Oh, you have a
filling.
gang.
Crap.
All right. So basically what these represent are one of these two needs to fill up for you guys to get out of here. Either the back down, and I've made that a 10 because his whole reason for being right now is to get revenge on Junker because of a devil's bargain. I take them very seriously, apparently. I promise that he would remember her and come back to
Be a problem.
Be a problem for her. So that's his reason for being right now. So hence a 10. And then we have the health over here, which is an 8. Again, that'll be should you do damage, how you tick that off, etc., etc. So there we are. Okay, so we got Eva. I always get her name wrong. Is it Eva?
Yeah, Ava.
Ava. See, I'll get that wrong to the end of this. Ava is your thing, and Junker just said that she wanted to do a flashback.
Well, why? But if we're playing Spirit, I might have to.
Oh, you're breaking up a bit there.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you there.
I'm sorry. I was about to say if we're going to fight spirits, I might try to do a flashback to try to get some electroplasmic ammo.
Well, it's part of your load, so you can always just call it out, can't you?
Oh, I'm sadly not a hound. I'm a what is it? A leech.
Yeah, yeah. She would need to use yeah. Hounds get it for free, but
Mm.
it need to be a flashback otherwise.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it probably should be a hound to be honest, but she's a leech.
Oh, that's right. She is a leech. You know, it's like she does do a lot of hound things. Okay, yeah.
Little crossover.
She's a very hound-like leech. There we go.
Very hound like leech. All right.
A
Uh,
leech hound.
cool. All right. So let's see here. We'll do a quick scene where what's just make it up. What's the name of your contact, Junker?
My friend,
Problem vampire.
like
The
Veldrin.
Veldrin. All right. Veldrin will. I'll say you'll get it for a coin, and that you can, if you need to, you can take it out of the crew bank, that kind of thing. But it's going to cost you a coin to get it. Basically, meets you in like a all too stereotypical dark alley uh, meet, where he has the rounds and they're in a wooden box, like kind of where you open up the top like a kind of like a you know hinge thing on the back, and it has the grooves for each bullet in there, each round, if you will.
Yeah.
And they're kind of sitting in there. He's like, one coin will get it for you.
Yeah. So she'll hand over like another bag of slugs. I imagine they're like electric blue glowing, like liquid in the rounds.
Sounds pretty cool. I'll go with that. We haven't really, again, this is one of the parts of fiction we never established. So here we go. So good job there. So yes, electroplasma rounds are blue glowy liquid in a round. Excellent. All right. So yeah, so she hands them over to you, or they hand them over to you, and they're like, you know where to get some more if you need some, but if you really need them, hopefully I'll have some repeat business. But hope to see you soon. Kind of gives a little mock salute and walks off down the alleyway. And that again, that's a zero. There for flashbacks, again, stuff that you could have easily done in your time is zero. Something that takes a bit of planning and whatnot is going to be a one, and something that takes like a lot of things happening and this affects that, which affects that, which affects that. It's a three stress type of thing, or two stress, or possibly three stress. But this is again, we're talking zero stress flashback so far. Anybody else do anything in particular?
What's a spirit bane charm?
Oh, good question. So it's basically just what it sounds like. Basically, is a bane to spirits. It can potentially hold them at bay or cause them anxiety or pain potentially. That kind of thing.
So it's a charm that someone would wear to sort of protect themselves with that ability.
Think
Certainly.
vampires and crosses.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Back you.
Would this work against Bell?
Potentially.
Spirit, right? Okay.
Potentially. So it depends on how generally the stronger a vampire, the more weaknesses they have, and having to deal with spirit bane, being affected by spirit bane charms is one of those weaknesses.
Okay. So I can check that off as part of my loadout then, right?
If you want to use it, yes.
Well, I'm just wondering if so far it doesn't seem that there are any other snipers around. I mean, that we basically we're the only ones who set up in this.
Yeah, I'm gonna
perch.
say definitely. Yeah, you guys have the right perch to kind of see things, and if there was, I would give you opportunity to see them, but nothing that you notice at all.
Yeah, Spirit by James a zero load item, so you can have that regardless.
Okay. I am. Hmm, like I said, I don't have a real good grasp on what's going on here, and I'm thinking that at some point, or maybe right now, Fish would want to. Let's see. Does he have uh, a grapple hook and rope?
Do you have that in your potential loadout?
I don't see. I don't see anything specific like
Climbing
that,
gear.
other than
Here. Yeah, you can
Light
burglary
climb.
gear.
That's light climbing
Could
gear.
it?
yeah,
Okay.
that's 2 load.
Okay. Well, I got 5. I'm thinking. Well, if the spirit bane charm could have some significant effect in our chamber, maybe I want to try and swing over to those broken windows and get into that room where the spirit bane charm might have an effect.
Okay. So let's see. So are you saying you basically want to swing over there for the moment? Is that your action? That's what you want to do?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, cool. So let's look at what action are you going to use for this?
Let's see. What would that be? Pocket.
And Junker, I'm assuming you've already loaded your rounds into your big ass rifle.
It looks to me like employees help them strengths handle. I think prowl, because prowl comes closest. Prowl about unseen and traverse obstacles, climb, swim, run, jump, and tumble.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I asked that because technically you're supposed to be telling me what action you're using, and then I kind of go from there. So prowl is excellent. So
Okay.
why don't you make a roll? It'll be risky standard this time.
Okay. Risky standard, no bonus die, right?
If you can push yourself, if you want a devil's bargain, you see how seriously I take them. I'm not sure if you want to go that route, but you can push yourself. I don't think Junker's not in a real position to help in this situation. No one is really. So yeah, to get extra die, you'd have to push yourself or take a devil's bargain.
This would this count as an ambush when you attack from hiding or spring a trap? You get +1.
Yeah, sure. Let's call it that. You're definitely
Okay.
gonna basically swing in through the window and do something. So
Yeah.
sure, sounds awesome.
All right. Okay.
Sounds very
So that's
lurkish.
one. All right. Okay, so let's see what happens.
A 4, so partial success.
Okay.
All right. So you take out your grapple hook, you swing it over, and we'll say like there's like a spire coming off of like not a spire. What's the thing like coming off the? I think it might be a spire coming off of the ship building. Kind of getting used to kind of leverage things into position, or at least it used to be in the old days. That's what you wrap it around. Next thing you know, Junker is kind of like, again, probably loading up these blue glowing rounds in her rifle suddenly, as she kind of sees, without even a word, Fish is suddenly this shadow that's suddenly zipping across the way between this building and that, and in through the window. I'm gonna say that you'll land with your spirit charm out just like you want, but you're gonna take 1 harm by hitting shard of the glasses that's still in the frame as you come on
Okay.
in. So you can resist that if you want.
Oh, I've already got a sprained ankle. Yeah, I'll resist it. Heck.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your prowess.
Roll prowess.
Prowess.
Sorry, what am I rolling?
Prowess.
Prowess. Where's prowess?
It's over your finesse, prowl, skirmish.
Oh, prowess. Gotcha. Okay. No bonus die. Right?
Nope.
Just a regular roll. Okay.
Yep. All right, so you'll take 2 stress.
All right.
Cool. And then you will, whereas you zip past the glass, you do kind of take out the last chunk that was in the one frame, but it doesn't end up cutting you. It does cut your clothes up a little bit, though. Not that you really care at this point.
Okay. So where do I put this under one harm? Like I said, it's all already
Well, you have
one harm with a
one
sprained
level
ankle.
one level. Okay, so you actually didn't take any damage. You resisted it successfully. In fact, resistance
Oh, I see. Oh, I'm
resist
sorry.
always
Oh,
works.
got it.
Period.
Okay.
So you resisted
Yeah.
it. It was just a matter of how much stress it would
Right.
cost you to do so. So basically, if you marked off your stress, you're already just fine.
All right.
All right. So yeah, so in flies Fish, and he does one of those 3-point superhero landings with his one hand up with the Spirit Bane charm hanging on on like the little leather necklace, if you will, hanging down. Do you say anything cool as you land, Fish?
No.
Damn it, Fish!
No.
This is a perfect time for this.
No.
Yeah.
But Fish is always a
Uh,
person of few words anyway, so that's expected, I suppose. So yeah, so next thing you know, this ghost of a figure, not ghost figure, bad choice of words for this situation, but a phantom of a figure zips into the window, suddenly wasn't there, was there now, is there now, and it's Fish holding out the Spirit Bane charm. And Belle looks over at him, and he kind of just scowls. I remember you two, but you're not the one that I want. Where is she? Where's the woman? What's her
Were we
name?
ever going to resolve mine?
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Bringing up
Um,
Ava?
yeah. So I'll
He
say
might be
that this
less
kind
responsive once he gets shot.
of. So I'll say that just as you were as Ava was, or you were kind of finishing your note with Ava, that's when Fish came in the window. So go ahead and so let's roll your. I think what is your swing? Maybe what are you
I think
doing
it's
here?
swags. It's a bluff. Because I have no idea what Ava could do, if anything, to this guy.
Gotcha. All right. So let's see here. So okay, so you do have your ghost talking, or
Mhm.
I'm sorry,
Right.
ghost
So I have
voice.
supernatural potency.
Yeah, supernatural potency. Um, so let's see. So right, what I would generally start this at is a zero chance, because his reason for being is finding Junker.
Junker.
So now we'll bring that up to limited with your with your ghost voice. I'm trying to think of anything else I can really add in here. But let's say it's limited for this.
Okay. And then risky or
Um, good question. Let's start off risky.
okay. And I would like to push myself for added effect.
Oh, cool. So okay, so standard.
I believe it's my own, sort of my own breaker moment of my eyes starting to glow of, not only do we have Ava, but I have my own tricks up my sleeve, type thing.
Nice, awesome. So yeah, absolutely. That sounds perfect.
And then can I use Ava as a bonus dice as a contact?
Yeah, actually, I think this is definitely a good time to do that. Let's go for it. Ooh, a crit. All right, so let's see. What does a crit do for ticking off clocks? Let's see here.
5 ticks.
Oh, 5 ticks? All right, so let's go ahead and let's see. All right. 2, 3, 4.
So I imagine that at least elicits a step back.
Yes. Yeah, kind of bringing Ava to bear, especially. He again, coming from his point of view, he, as far as he was concerned, you guys are just basic cultist ruffians, that kind of thing. So he did not expect this This is not part of the way he envisioned this going. Was suddenly that you have this one guy with a spirit charm out of nowhere. You have suddenly Ava materializes. She's this electroplasmatic field standing right there and looking none too happy with him. And that you have some kind of control over her. Absolutely. He takes a step back. He's I'll say Peacock specifically gets the pleasure of that something that maybe only Peacock would pick up. But maybe even Junker if she was around, but like just that poker face breaks just enough where someone trained to see it can see, oh shit, this is not going as planned.
The widening of the eyes.
Yes, just slightly. Again, I think this is something that only Peacock or Junker, being the gambler, would recognize.
It's a tell.
It's a tell.
Junker is definitely watching Breaker to see if he signals her to shoot.
Yeah, what's Breaker doing during all this?
Oh. Well. Dang, that's a good bit of back down. He won't signal quite yet. I'll try and I can see he can play the game a little. He'll pull out his blade. He'll pull out his mace. And then he'll allow his ectoplasmic energy to flow into the mace, charging it with a crackling black and blue aura, and his eyes are now fully just like alight with the same energy.
Gotcha. This is your Ghost Fighter you're talking about, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
And then he'll stand down. You'll command. It's intimidation.
Ooh, damn. All right. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll command. Let's see here. I'll say risky. Let's see. I mean, technically, the Ghost Fighter is definitely the potency comes into effect when you actually harm somebody. So I'm not going to count that. So it's still going. It
is a potent threat, though.
It's not, but it's not like
Okay.
the damage from Ghost Fighter comes from that extra bit of electroplasm in the weapon as you hit, that type of thing. You gain potency in combat versus supernatural, which you're not in right now. So let's see here. So what did I do for Peacock? So it was like basically none. You can push yourself to open it to limited.
Taking 2 stress for limited. I don't really like the sound of that.
Gotcha. Actually, I mean, well, I'm going to say that we can say that it moved up because right now the clock is still going. It's counting down for his back off. We got to a point where basically he thought he had the upper hand in every single way, and suddenly the tables are very turned on him. So maybe we moved. I'm willing to say we moved up from a nothing to a limited at this point.
I'll take a limit. All right, I'll go for that.
Yeah. And now, if you want to push yourself for standard, we can do that.
Standard on 3. That'll leave me trauma. 2 out of 1, 2. We'll take trauma.
Carry the 4.
Nah, I'll just no, because this will probably end up into a fight anyways.
Okay.
I'll leave it at limited.
Okay, so limited will whatever the ticks you would get will be pared back slightly. Still 6. Let's see, how many ticks is that?
Limited 2 ticks.
Pardon me?
2 ticks at limited.
Oh, 2 ticks. So what is it normally? 6. I have to look that up.
3 normally.
3 at
3 normally.
standard.
Okay, yeah. So let's give him 2 ticks for that then.
Hold on, I should have pushed myself. Ah, well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but then you would have rolled one.
Yeah, no, that's how it would have worked.
What was that, Peacock?
I was just mentioning Cassie's mic seems to be picking up just a little bit, only with a strong voice.
Okay,
Oh.
is this okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's just when you're saying something, it's just like I hear like just every other syllable until, you're a little bit clearer.
We want to hear you. So bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry if it's breaking up. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Anyone else have anything they want to do? Otherwise, I'm gonna take some other actions. Or
I'm good.
I think we're good. So, Hooks is she is out that window. She is. That's all she had.
Oh shoot! I should have ordered. Ah well. I should have ordered the cohort to grab her.
Yeah, she's gone. She literally leapt out the window. Like literally leapt out the second story window. So second story, but there's like a freaking vampire in here. There's a electroplasmatic spirit here. There's guys with guns. She maybe has a gun and a knife. This is and she. I'm more than willing to say she failed any resistance against the terror of supernatural creatures. So yeah, she's literally leapt out the window. We have no idea what happened to her. Well, actually, Junker will see her land very like I won't say like a cat. She like tucks and rolls as best she can, but she definitely you hear a thump and a thud and a crack as she kind of rolls up and limps her way out of there. She's out of the scene. She is gone. But Junker is the only one who can see that part of the show. The bell, or you never actually found out what the spirit's name was. But he sees Neokree's mace, and the glow of it, and he kind of looks around at the group. This is all you have to offer, hmm? And with that, he's like, first he's standing where he's at. Neokree, go ahead and resist him, like touching you, basically. If basically he's gonna attempt to take away your mace. This is you can resist or not, but just to even act against him right now is a resist roll.
Ooh. Man, I do not. This is gonna be a good one. Let's see. Where'd my character sheet go? He got hidden somehow. There we go.
What's that, Stu?
Can I protect a teammate? I don't know what that does.
I don't either. But no, this is a resist. This is kind of like in the rule book, like when you're facing a master swords fighter, you have to do a resist roll just to even start fighting with them. Otherwise he's already disarmed you. This is kind of that type of situation. You're facing something.
Typically, if Peacock wants to take the resist roll for him, they can. That's something that you could do in the rules.
I'm going to say no, just because the whole reason this is happening is because it's just so fast. Peacock is in no position to really kind of get against this one.
Yeah, force.
Peacock is not speedy.
Mm-hmm.
For the record, by the way, as he moves over there, this place's Fish is the only person behind him.
Does he have a corporeal existence?
Yes.
Or is he strictly a spirit?
No,
he's very much corporeal.
Yeah, he's basically he's a vampire is a ghost that possessed someone and then overstayed their welcome, basically killing the present spirit and taking over residence.
And managed to fuse themselves into the body. It's actually somewhat rare, so it's actually pretty impressive they pulled that off without having to rituals or anything.
So we can attack that body.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it's him. He has melded. He's merged his spirit with the body, and in exchange, he's gotten way stronger.
Okay. and I'm behind him.
Yes, I just want to note that for positioning, since I'm anti-map, basically.
Okay.
Theater
So,
of the mind.
all right. So
Yeah,
Neil
I
Krieg,
know.
go ahead and resist unless if you want to keep your mace.
Maces are pretty important. I'll resist. Ooh, this might suck. Let's see. I'll use prowess. No bonus dice.
Good job. All right. you you basically you keep it and you find yourself face to face with him. You have the mace, the shaft of the mace, and you have him. I'm assuming you're more of a leverage man, so you're as opposed to choking up, you're on the bottom of the mace where you're trying to get as much of that angle, the fulcrum as possible. He grabs higher up on the shaft, and you can see he tries to grab it, but it just doesn't happen. And his breath is just horribly nasty as he talks to you. He doesn't, as he talks, you see he doesn't have like fangs or anything like that. This is not that kind of vampire, but his gums are all bloody. um you can feel, you can see like on his fingers have like they're almost talons at this point. But he's like, tell me where the woman is. That was the entire reason you're here.
Yeah. Okay. This point where like I see he's like about to tussle with Breaker, I'll just shoot.
Nice.
Bang.
And then she'll be chastised by Breaker for not shooting, waiting until the note was
I
given.
didn't give the order.
All right, cool. So you have your blue liquid glowing electroplasm rounds loaded in. And everything's locked and loaded and ready to go. You've been watching this, again, you're very big on the hunt type of the show here. And you've just been seeing everything. So yeah, you waited for a moment, you picked it, and boom, squeeze goes the trigger. Go ahead and make a roll.
I'll push myself up. What would I be like effect wise?
Let's see. So I'll say electroplasm gives us a standard effect. You can push yourself for great and get no bonus die. Or you can say basically right now this is controlled. You can bump it up to risky to make it a great. So other ways to affect things here.
I'll just go with bonus die.
Okay, so you push yourself for a bonus. Okay, it'll be controlled standard right now, and that's basically because of the rounds you're using.
I definitely have my next long-term plan in mind. Teach my boys how to become ghost hunters. Become an army
Oh
of
my
ghost
god!
hunters.
Oh,
Jesus!
Right between the eyes.
Right between the eyes. All right, so this will be if we already found out that that's 5, right?
Critical. That's some damage right there.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah. So why don't you describe what your shot does?
Well, she just has the sniper position set up. She had like a tripod, and she takes it, sights it down when she sees that he grabs uh Breaker's mace, and I imagine like his hand like fizzles and he like pulls back, and he kind of like jerks back, and she hits it right in the between the eyes, and like the electroplasm just explodes in a burst of blue like the lightning.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. So we see him suddenly down on one knee. Yep.
Oh, there was.
Yep. So he's
Yep.
suddenly down on one knee and not too far in front of Breaker actually. Um, the the blast kind of shocks all of you. This is not your normal bullet round where it just
Oh, that's true.
merely hits and goes through bone and flesh. The sucker, again, like Junker described, there's a big explosive flash. Like this is almost like a flash grenade that just went off in the room. You're all a bit dazed, dazzled, if nothing. Nothing that requires any kind of negatives or anything like that, but yeah. So next thing, when you guys can you blink, when you guys can see again, he's sitting on basically on one knee in front of Breaker, and Eva. First, your cohorts are not going to be doing nothing. They are going to start shooting. There's two guys who didn't shoot. Let's see here.
Dang it, that is shooting without me. And I'm not commanding them. They're gonna get punishment for that later.
So
there's a reason you wait for my commands.
So Breaker, why don't you roll one fortune die? Basically they roll your tier to figure out how they do.
Yep, and that's why they do not do well if I'm not commanding them yet. So I'm commanding them. It's a group action, so I can cover for them. Oh, did not go through. Oh, here we go. Oh, it did pretty well.
Thug attack. All right.
Thug attack.
All right. I will give that one. They'll basically enough shooting where they're gonna basically take out enough flesh where it does something, but they're just using normal weapons. They have no ghost training, no nothing like that. Yeah, it does advance the clock though.
I'll give you that. Very well. They did well enough.
Yep. Peacock or Fish, are you guys doing anything?
I have an idea, but I'll give Peacock a chance to talk.
I do have an idea, but I'll give everyone else a chance to talk. Then I'll do mine because my idea is Hulk smash.
Peacock is backing up at this point because things are about to get ugly.
Now is my time to shine.
And and he was going to be, like raising his hand to go ahead and shoot, but that's that bird has flown. So
yeah. So I, for purposes of this, I'm going to treat Eva as your cohort if you want her to do something.
Yeah, then I will gesture. I will gesture him, to smite him.
And she goes, and there's there's this like mental connection between you two, and you can hear the words, "In the name of Shanas."
In the name of Shanas.
All right, roll a fortune die. And she is electroplasm, so. All right, I'll give her another one. So describe what happens there.
I think when he's distracted, looking at Breaker and then getting shot, which is definitely a surprise for him. I think she just grabs both sides of his head and starts and the water starts flowing from her hands.
Ooh, wow. Ooh, like not actual water, but like this electroplasma water, like a hologram of water type of thing. So she's like creating this in her mind, if you will. That's pretty awesome. Cool. Yeah, he shrieks. Like the hard part is you almost think you hear like Belle's voice in there somewhere, but it can't be. He's long gone, but this shriek just echoes throughout the place. Junker, as a note, there are some very, very, very concerned bluecoats who are now kind of making their way towards the building at a rapid pace. All right,
Towards
Fish.
which building? The one Junker is in, or the one that's happening in?
Being one is right across from the other, and I think the building that she's in is closer to the cop shop, if you will.
Yeah. If I
Okay.
see that, can I say that she had a whistle, blows the whistle to let know what's going on?
Sure. Yeah. Zero load. Yeah. Some of you guys hear the whistle that you guys were talking about. It, well, actually, you know what? Just actually, yeah, we're kind of close. So I'm not trying to make it a whole scene, but yeah. So you guys, we'll call this a zero stress flashback where you guys were like, and since I'll be the lookout when you hear this whistle, get the hell out of Dodge because the blue coats are on their way.
Run, run, you fools!
All right, Fish, what you got?
Well, let's see. Wait, let me just call me up here. Can I do a flashback where after Junker comes back with her fancy bullets, I look at him and I say, "Oh, cool. Can I have a couple?"
Oh, sure.
Sure.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got a
Zero stress.
pistol and then a second pistol.
Fish is bared to load.
Yeah, and as this is going on, I those two bullets, one in each pistol, and I shoot at Bell, one shot at his head, one shot at the middle of his back.
Cool. All right. And I'm gonna call that you're behind him. I'm gonna call this an ambush.
Yeah.
So use your extra die. This will be like I'm gonna call this it's risky limited, but limited it'll still be enough pretty much to do the job here potentially.
Okay, and then looks like I could
Yeah.
pick.
Do you want a devil's
what was I?
bargain or are you gonna push
Well, I also
yourself?
have to pick the like
And the
finesse
action.
Prowl thing, right?
Yeah, you have to pick
Yeah,
what action you're
yeah,
using.
and there's I think Prowl again. It's got ambush with close violence. This seems a backstab
Sure.
seems to kind of fit that.
Sure.
Okay, so I roll Prowl, and I'm sorry, what did you say again? It's risk.
Risky limited. Actually, I'm sorry, risky standard because you're using the ghost bullets basically.
Okay,
Um
and
so
do I
you
get a
see
bonus die for ambush?
you get your bonus die for ambush. And I think that'll do. Do you want to push yourself? Do you want a devil's bargain?
Uh, Pushing myself will add how much stress?
2 stress.
All right, 2 stress. Yeah, I got the stress slots.
All right.
So I'll push myself. Does that add another bonus die?
Yep, that adds a bonus die.
Okay, cool.
5. All right. Yeah, describe what happens when you shoot him. What does it look like when those liquid blue glowing bullets hit him?
Oh, his well, the bullet goes in the back of his head, and so it's actually front of his head explodes in this, incredibly lovely spray of now blue glowing and tinted brain and while his heart is exploding in a similar way out of his chest.
How much of it gets on Breaker and what does it look like?
Oh, on Breaker?
Yeah, you're firing basically
Uh,
towards Breaker for all intents and purposes.
oh, sure. It basically, Breaker gets these two splats, and especially the brain splat. He's as much as he wants to be in control, he's kind of shocked, and his mouth is hanging open, and some of the lovely blue glowing brain matter goes in his mouth.
Excellent. All right. Yeah, and there's like basically what's left of his brainstem is smoking. He in his last moments he spares a look over at Peacock, and he mouth you can't hear it. It's like the basic like this basic croak comes out of his throat, but you can see his lips are forming. Where's the woman?
Huh.
And he has a. I'll give his last second of looking at Peacock before he tilts forward and splats onto his face.
I mean, Peacock's not going to give her up, so.
With that, he unceremoniously slams forward and one last bit of air out of the body and nothing in the lungs. And there's a lot of smoke. There's a lot of blue glowies all over the place. Breaker is going to need to get some laundry done. The cohorts, to their credit, were already reloading and getting ready for volley
Train
2.
them well.
And yeah, Junker, from the distance, you see that the bullets you loaned to Fish were money well spent. And it's about this point that the bluecoats start converging on the building. So you guys have enough time, if you're willing to take it, to get out through that alleyway area. Otherwise,
I think getting out would be wise.
Yeah, otherwise, if you take any other way than the alleyway, you're probably going to get more heat at this point.
For me, your voice cut out on take any other way but the alleyway. I assume it wasn't a good choice.
No, I'm saying that pretty much I'm willing to say that you get away safely if you go through the alleyway, which the bluecoats are not covering, that it won't really garner you any more heat and you're just going to get away. I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm all
I think
for
getting away is good.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, and Junker packs her tripod up and makes her way back to the lair or whatever.
The corpse of a vampire, though. What could you
Also,
do
the
with something
evidence
like
that proves that we weren't the one who killed the Grey Cloak, or that we weren't the one who was Bell or killed the Grey Cloak.
That is true. But
Can't take the evidence of our innocence.
But vampire corpses, though.
All right, so what are you doing, Peacock, to clean this up before you head out?
Nothing. And that's the point.
Leaving the
This
corpse of a vampire.
Supernatural creature, and that is obviously a dead Grey Cloak. We're leaving.
Right, gotcha. Smart man. All right, cool.
All right, fine.
All right.
Was that because Grey Cloaks? Yeah.
Nice. All right. So that technically wasn't a score, but we'll treat it the same as it was. Let's go through
We have vanquished a mighty foe. We have progressed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely worth that part.
Killed a vampire. Holy shit. We can now all call ourselves officially vampire hunters.
Right.
Do you really want that to get out? Do you?
Scarlock, maybe.
I mean, vampires are actually illegal, like straight up. Though, to be fair, there is one particular vampire who might not appreciate it.
There is that.
Probably not.
All right.
He's a bad vampire, though.
Let's
That's
see.
We'll say we're bad vampire hunters. We hunt bad vampires. Not the good one.
Gotcha. Let's see here. All right. So payoff. Let's start with rep. So 2 rep to start with. Let's see here. All right. So 2 rep to start with. I'm gonna say this was a couple tiers higher. So I'm gonna say you have 4 rep here. Let's update your thing.
Swole vampire.
Yeah, so actually, yeah. So you guys will be maxing your rep. So that'll take you from weak to strong tier 1.
Strong.
And then I'll let it carry over. All right. For coin, I'm willing to say that somebody has absconded with some money from one of the people or something. I'm not sure if this is something your patron would necessarily pay you for. But I'm willing to hear the argument.
If we had some time, I'd be checking pockets because these were 2 pretty high up members. So I'm wondering if they have something on them.
Okay. Yeah, so let's
information or something like that.
sure, and then we could parlay that into whatever. But for purposes of coin, I'll say you guys each get a coin out of this.
Okay.
Let's see here. Right. Right, heat. I will say this was contained. I mean, there were several guns going off,
But
but
they're no
everything was
direct
basically
visuals.
There
Yeah.
is
yeah,
a
everything
death.
was. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
There is a dead body.
There is a dead body. Yes. So yeah,
Who did it?
for purposes of basic heat, it was contained.
It's
It
just
was
a bunch
limited to
of
one
drunken
room.
dock workers on the first floor who don't really quite recall who went up the stairs to the bottom.
Yeah, I don't remember
And
nothing,
there was
sir.
one witness, and she's probably not going to be giving written statements.
Yeah.
Odds are bad. All right, so 2 heat as was contained and standard exposure. Plus 2 heat if a killing was involved. It was. So 4 heat. Up that up there.
Uh-oh. Oh no, am I the one frozen?
Let's see. Nope.
Crap.
Everything's moving around. Oh no. Ah! Oh, he's restarting. Let him come back. Come on, you can do it. Breaker, Neocree. You got this. Maybe. Potentially. Maybe not.
This is just despicable.
Ooh, that was strong, Cassie.
Another reason to leave the gang.
Come on, Breaker. All right, so let's wait for him to come back. All right, so
I think his internet cut out because he left the roll 22.
oh, maybe he's restarting or something. All right, so let's to carry on while we're waiting. So okay, so we got the heat. You guys are up to 4 heat, so you're safe for the moment. Let's see here. Da, da, da. All right, entanglements. You do have 4 heat. Go ahead and who would want to roll the die? Just one, or actually 2 die, and take the lower of the 2 for your entanglement roll. Who would like to do that?
I'll do it. I don't know if that's just clicking the roll entanglement button, right?
Is there a roll entanglement button?
I don't think there is a
Yeah.
roll entanglement.
Yeah, there he is.
There's engagement.
Just
Right.
above clocks.
Oh, that's engagement.
Yeah, it's engagement.
Well, I'm looking on the game master. I have to do it on my sheet.
No, just roll like 2 fortune dice, and we'll take
Okay.
the lowest of the
Yeah.
2.
Well, if you put in 0, it'll roll 2 and take the lowest.
Okay, so I clicked roll engagement, input value. I can just leave it at 0 for the die.
I'm not sure what will happen. Sure, give it a try, just for kicks.
All right.
All right, one. Oh, right. There you go.
All right.
There we go.
Cassie knows again. She knows it
Cool.
all. All right, so
That's good.
lowest of 2, you got a 1. That was the best roll you could hope for. You are at a heat 4. So gang trouble or questioning. I will leave this to next session, and we'll call it gang trouble. This is going to be perhaps breaker. Actually, was that technically gang trouble? Oh yeah. So you have to give shit to one of your cohorts for not handling things as well as they could, that kind of thing. That sound okay?
Okay.
Okay. And welcome back.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Had a weird disconnection.
All right, just keep that in mind for next time. Let's see. And that goes, let's see, actually, let's do XP. And let's see here. Yeah, let's do XP. Anyone in particular want to start?
I can do it. You addressed a challenge with technical skill or making them. I think I can I get at least one for that.
Sure.
Are we doing individual ones?
Yeah, I'll start off with individual XP and also do crew XP.
So yeah,
That's
I
one.
think I get a one for that. I think believes, drives, heritage, or background. I should get like two for that.
Okay. And what
Um,
going off of like drive is
the cult,
getting the hell out of the gang, getting the hell out of the
yep,
cult. All right, so 3.
and struggle with vice or traumas. Not really.
Okay. All right, 3 XP. Who is next?
Another one at the prowl.
Let's try to get through
Here we
XP and
go.
then we'll worry about downtime activities next time.
Okay.
Or on Discord, one of the two.
I'll go next. Violence or coercion? I'll give myself a 1. 1 for that. Beliefs, drives, heritage, background. Say 1 as well. Got to do more training with the guys, and also got to be a little uppity about my religion.
Sure.
And then struggled with issues. A 1 because I was gonna throw down a guy who dared to insult Shanas.
Fair enough. Sounds good. All right, so 3 for you.
Peacock, 1 for addressing a challenge with influence. Basically, trying to convince them to back off or bluff them to back off.
I would go as far as to say take 2. You tried to reason with a
Successful.
vampire on his.
I can do that. I don't really think I did anything with beliefs, drives, or heritage, really. Trauma, I would say yes for 1 because he is starting to not really care about the cult members so much as the cult.
Sure, sounds good. That could come back to haunt you, type of thing. Okay, so that's 3 for you.
Yep.
Okay, how about fish?
Well, I'm saying address a challenge with stealth or evasion. I can see, first sneaking in through my possible father's back window is stealth. Would does ambush fall into stealth and evasion?
I mean, I would say I'm good with that if you are.
I basically did ambush twice, once swinging across and once shooting Bell in the back.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be able to give you the maximum 2 for that part of the show.
Okay, so 2 stealth and evasion. Expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I would say that happened with
your background,
my encounter
absolutely.
with my father.
Sure, definitely, absolutely.
And struggle with issues from your vice or trauma. At first, when I got back with that painting, possibly of my mother, I just wasn't really interested at all
Anything else, yeah.
in what was going on. So I think that'd be a
Okay.
point. So that would be 4 in all.
Sounds like 4.
Okay.
All right, and let's do your crew real quick. Let's see. So the first one, I would say really didn't do anything to further the cult in per se.
More personal stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it was more on a personal level. Let's see here. Contend with challenges above your station. Yeah, I'm gonna go 2 on that one. Bolster your crew's reputation. I'm gonna go 2 on that one. Again, you faced down a vampire and walked away.
Killed it, and actually did it pretty quickly too.
Yeah. Express scroll drives inner conflict. I'm gonna say 1 because you do have a person who's trying to leave you right now, whether or not you the rest of you don't know it. So
there's also they talk about for that one due to how vague it is. They say it can also be used for everyone's doing their own thing. It's like everyone showed off what makes their portion of the group, what makes the crew special. I'd say get a point for that one too. I'd say like 1 point for each of those aspects because that's the conflict. Of course, she's trying to leave. That goes out saying. But then everyone pitched into that fight. We had the face bringing in his contact to hammer him. We had Breaker being a strong guy and punching the crap out of him. We had Fish sneaking behind him and shooting him, and then we had Junker sniping him from a distance as well, like and providing the weaponry to take him down.
Sure. I'm in on that. All right. So you guys got a crew advance. So here's our homework for this week. So next session is our last session. Is the last session of the campaign. So I'm gonna ask you guys to do a little more in Discord than I usually do. So one, let's do downtime activities for each of you. Two, let's kind of talk about what you guys want as your last crew advancement. And three,
Well, cut out on that one. I'm sorry.
yeah. So crew advancement, downtime activities, and for the third, I'm actually, and again, I really don't have. I mean, I generally try to have some kind of arc, but I would like some input. I mean, I've kind of left that vague. So I'd also like to talk to you guys on Discord about, you know, this is the last session. This is a culmination of everything. What do we want to have that be? I'm gonna have you guys have a bit more say so in what's going on in this last session, what our final score is, that kind of thing, and how it brings this campaign to a close. So you guys have been awesome. I loved all the interplay tonight. You guys all had a part to play. You played it well. Yeah, I love the flashbacks as always. I'm happy we got some more roleplay time to go in. I apologize for going over a little bit. But you guys are awesome as always, and I just want you guys to know that.
Yeah, you also get 3 coins in your stash. I went up a lifestyle level because I
Oh,
put my coin in my stash. So she's kind of putting
Well, that's
stuff
right. Yeah,
away
we
for.
do get coins.
Yeah, so she's kind of basically gonna like liquidate her money and get a bunch of stuff going on. So when she's basically like a lot of money saved away for a rainy. She's gonna take it with her.
that's a rainy day, all right. So cool, awesome. Okay,
Well, I think whatever we end up doing next time, I think we should all die.
that's always an option.
Yeah.
So I think so of my campaigns that I've streamed, the one and only death of a character was Steve.
Hmm.
So he already has one under his belt. I don't know if he needs to do it again, but
I'm not necessarily serious.
I know I'm just
I
joking
think
around.
it'll be funny.
Yeah, it is. So cool. So yeah, so lots to think about. Again, I'm asking you to be just a little more active on Discord and let's talk this stuff out. And like I said, 10th session, next session. So
Okay.
Cool.
thank you
We'll
guys for
see.
being awesome as always. So let's say goodbye to everybody. Let's start over here with Neo Cree
Take care, everyone.
and Dr. Oculari.
See you around.
And there's Dr. Oculari's banner. And Cassie. And last but not least, Steve.
Goodbye.
Cool. Thanks, guys.